Coach, knowing what's at stake, what will be your final message to your guys as they take the court tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give you my Gipper speech right here before the game, but really the bottom line is, sticking to our big rocks and playing the way we've set out to play and trying to improve on the areas we've been a little bit deficient. That's it. They don't want to, having been in their seat, that they're not looking for you to save them with your words. They're looking for the ball to go up and to start playing. It's tough in between games, and so they're ready to play. And so that's the number one thing, is to make sure they're as prepared as possible to improve on the last game.
How much of the flow that you want to get into offensively starts on the defensive side of the floor?
Well, it certainly helps. When you're not taking the ball out of the basket and you're able to push it up the floor, I think it increases your strength at both ends. So that can be a factor. But it's just a well-rounded performance we're looking for. We cover all the areas of the game that we've addressed at the start of the series are still there to improve upon and give ourselves the best chance to win tonight.
Coach, can you kind of just put in perspective all the different curveballs that this team has been throwing all season? I mean, from the beginning with the vaccine mandate, with Kyrie being available, not available, Joe's injury, Kevin's injury, the trade, Ben. I mean, the list can kind of go on. Can you just kind of put all that in perspective and how you've been able to weather all of those things?
You did a pretty good job, Christian. That was a good recounting of where we've gone this year. I think obviously we've had different iterations of our team. We had kind of a month of COVID. We had the trade. We had Kevin's injury. We had Kyrie's absence, and then part-time and then full-time. And so, it's something that we've all had to grow from. It's challenged us in a lot of ways this year. And if anything, it's made us all better and stronger. It may have, all of that is definitely a factor in where we sit right now. Having said that, it's also made us better. It's also made us stronger. It's just not necessarily going to all come out now. But it is something that I think is going to aid all of us as far as what we've handled, how we've approached it, how we've worked together, how we've pushed for more for many pockets of the season where it was very difficult for us. So that's my takeaway, is that we were pushed, we were challenged, we took the challenge, and we all grew from it. And at some point, those challenges will afford us a lot. And we hope that we don't have to face so many going forward, though.
Is whatever Ben is going through now, is that at this point entirely physical in the back, or is there also still that mental aspect to it? And if there is some of the latter, what do you personally and the organization as a whole need to do better to help get him to the point mentally where he's like?
Yeah, I think it's careful. I want to be careful here. I don't want to overstate my understanding of the situation, because I'm not in Ben's shoes. That's very important for me not to speak for Ben, because I can't relate to what he's going through. There is a mental component with everything. I think Ben has addressed that there is a mental component with what he's going through. But how much and where he's at with that, is not for me to speak about. But as far as an organization, we're really pushing to support Ben in any way we can to help him improve physically and get back on the court. And the mental side of that is, part and parcel. They're not separate. They're not something that we don't want to deal with. We want to help if he needs help in any aspect of his life and his game. He's a cornerstone. So we want to help him feel great, play great, and become a part of this team.
Steve, in terms of energy and effort tonight, do you want to see this team playing with an air of desperation?
It's great question. I think it could become a futile, exercise. But I think there's a balance between incredible competitive spirit and poise. So I think you want to strike that. You want to be a winner. I think you have to have incredible force and will, and you also have to have poise. And so finding that as a group, not just individually, is a component of the game.
Coach, is it tough to balance the fact that you're down 3-0, but two, you've only been outscored by 14 points over 12 quarters? And how do you want to emphasize the latter part of that to your team versus the obviously and put the former part of it sort of to the side?
Yeah.
And then second of all, are you planning on changing your lineup at all today?
No, I don't foresee us changing our lineup. We're open, and we've discussed many variables or how the game could go, but not from the outset are we making any big changes. I think the players, we've talked to them about how fine the margins are, and how we've done a lot of things well. I think we're scoring at a higher clip now than in the regular season. We've talked about some of the things that we wanted to improve upon and how close the series is when you take a step back. At the same time, you also don't want to, there's many ways to win a basketball game. So you don't want to just say, it's the live ball turnovers, because that could be replaced with some other deficiency on a night-to-night basis. But, that's the clearest one. That's, when you're talking about fine margins, that's the clearest one that hurts our offense and our defense.
Just piggybacking on the rotation mentioned after the last game, you sensed that Blake could provide some energy, which he did. Do you go into this game feeling like you need to feel it out, or do you go in saying at some point, we'll definitely utilize him this evening?
Closer to, I think he can play a part. We'll see. I can't commit to anything. I think we definitely want to see how the game goes, but he did bring a spirit and energy that was, I thought, valuable, and sometimes that a little change and tweak like that can give you a lift, and that can be an important pocket of the game that spurs you on or allows you to pick things up in a way that affects the latter part of the game as well.
When Kevin's beating himself up the other night saying I'm overthinking too much, you have 2 days off. All you really do is think sometimes. Did you say don't watch any film of this? Don't, just react to what happens? Or do you sort of prepare more? So, how do you handle something like that?
Yeah. I think everyone's different in how you approach and how you should approach these situations. Some people maybe need to get away, and some people need to dig deeper into the preparation. I think there should be a component of it is where you don't have to make sweeping changes. You can stick to what you do, how you do it, and then tweak it slightly depending on where you're at. So, we try to keep things in order, the way we've continued to do things, and then Kevin's gonna, handle this time between games away from the group the best way he needs to handle it. And I think he's as experienced as they come. He's done it all, and he's somebody that we're very grateful to have, and our team has brought us a long, long way. And nobody wants to see him feel free out there more than me. Okay, thank you.